Hey guys, it's J Star Wars 360 here, giving you guys my thoughts going into Monsters University. Now, before I get into it, I think it would be fair to share my thoughts on the previous Monsters Inc. film, along with my opinions on Pixar, since that's going to be a huge factor in determining why I think the way I do about Monsters University. Now, alright, first off, Monsters University. It was the first Pixar film I saw in theaters. And I remember really liking it as a kid. Yeah, really liking it. I remember it being a big hit. Lots of people were talking about it. This one friend at camp who was like obsessed with the movie. He could like name every character. There lots of video games. Point is, movie, I generally like the movie. And although that has changed. Recently, I went back and watched Monsters Inc. again, just to see if it still held up 13 years, no, 12 years later. Yeah, almost 12 years later. And while it is a good film, and I definitely think it's great for kids, it really didn't have that much to it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the characters, I like the story, but it was very simple. There wasn't a whole lot to it. I'm not criticizing the film, I'm just saying why I don't think it's like that amazing. And again, I'm older now, I like a bit more sophistication in my animated films. So, Monsters University. On one end, I would be okay with Monsters University. I mean, on its up until 2011, I would have been okay with Monsters University. I mean, Pixar says we don't do sequels unless we have good ideas, and Toy Story 3 proved that, because 10 years later, it matured to mature with the people who grew up with Toy Story, the first two Toy Stories, and it gave us a much darker film. So Monsters University, it's like most of the people who saw Monsters Inc. as kids are probably now in college. Like me. I saw Monsters Inc. when I was a little kid, and now I'm in college. So I wonder if you think, wow, this is cool. It's like growing up with us. So that's what I thought. And again, Pixar says we don't do good sequels unless we have good ideas. But, so, you think I should be excited. And from the trailer, it looks like it's capturing the look and feel of college. So I should be excited about Monsters University. But I'm not. For two reasons. One, which I already disclosed, which is I'm not really that big of a Monsters, Inc. fan now. I mean, and two is Pixar's track record. First off, there's Cars 2, which was it wasn't a bad movie, but by Pixar standards, I mean, they had just done really, really good movies. Not just animated movies, but films in general. Up in Toy Story 3, which were unbelievable. Two of their best, really good. Toy Story 3 made me cry at the end. And then you got Cars 2, which felt very babyish. Which kind of put to shame the quote Lasseter said, which is we don't make sequels unless we have good ideas. Toy Story 3 proved it, but Cars 2 didn't. And then, their next film, Brave, which I was really looking forward to, while I liked it, I was disappointed because the story wasn't that original. I mean, it was like, the girl whose parents want her to be a princess, continue tradition, but she doesn't want to. So, Pixar's recent track record has kind of put that to shame. So I'm kind of skeptical, because I feel like this is going to be the last straw. Like, because, again, their past two films weren't that original. They seemed more towards kids than old adults, especially Cars 2. And from the looks of the animation, it seems very babyish. Like the designs of the monsters, it's really bright, colorful. Not saying it's bad, but it just feels like something for little kids. Like, it doesn't seem like it's made for people who saw Monsters, Inc. as kids. It seems like for little kids. So that's one of the reasons why I'm turned off. Another reason is the fact that Pixar seems to be doing a lot of sequels lately. Like, if they space their sequels out, it's like every few years they do a sequel. But no, it's like every 1 or 2 years we get a sequel from them. Toy Story 3. Following year we get Cars 2. Then 2 years later we get Monsters University. And then in 2015 we're getting Finding Dory, the sequel to Finding Nemo. So it almost seems like Pixar's running out of ideas and they're just cashing into all their hits. So because of all those events, I'm not really that excited about Monsters University. Will I see it? Probably. I'm not right away. I mean, there's much bigger movies coming out like Man of Steel. And again, also I'm older now, and if I'm going to go see an animated film in theaters, it needs to be something really good. And this just looks like a little kid's thing. I don't want a repeat of Cars 2, where I went in there expecting another great film from Pixar, and I got a film that I pretty much want to forget about that Pixar ever made, and I think Pixar does too. So, but I will see it, just, whenever. I really don't care about it. So to sum up, here's what I think about Monsters University. I think it's going to be an okay film. It's going to be disappointing by Pixar standards. It's going to be cute for kids, have nice colors. It's going to be great to see Mike and Sully again. It's going to be cool to see a college environment, but it's going to be disappointing in terms of characters and story. It's going to feel more like a little kid's movie and won't mature. And it might just feel like a cash grab. I don't think it's going to be terrible, but I don't think this is going to be a really strong film from Pixar, by Pixar standards. And I don't think it'll be... I think it'll get alright critic-wise, but I don't think it's going to get, like, raving reviews. This might actually be weaker than Brave, just because it feels kind of babyish. If they do something more adult, if they do kind of play to that older audience, the people who grew up with Monsters, Inc., it'll be good. But if they're just going the babyish route, I think they are, then it's going to be kind of eh. I mean, I'll probably give it like a 5 or a 6. If it really is that babyish, it'll probably get a 4 out of 10. And it may get nominated for Best Animated Film. Probably because the Academy is like a sucker for Pixar. I mean, considering Brave won, which I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph, but I've heard a lot of people say Wreck-It Ralph deserved to win. And lastly, how do I think it's going to do financially? I think it's going to do pretty well financially. I mean, it's Monsters, Inc. It's going to make a lot of money. I mean, Pixar's been advertising this film like crazy. I don't think it's going to do well as Despicable Me 2, just because Despicable Me is more relevant. Monsters, Inc. Again, it's been 10 years, okay? There's a bunch of little kids out there who have no clue probably have no clue what the heck Monsters, Inc. is. But, I'll talk about Despicable Me 2 when I get to it. And Despicable Me 2 is up next. So financially, I think it's going to do good. So, yeah. That's all I need to say. Remember, check the link in the description. I'll link in the description to my review of Monsters, Inc. if you want my thoughts on that. And yeah, this is JStars360 signing out. Stay tuned for next time when I give my thoughts going into Despicable Me 2.